Hello and welcome everyone, this is Lion, and you're watching FoxLionVI. Now today we're going to be continuing off from the last episode, because the last episode that I originally intended actually got interrupted. So I actually divided the episode into two sections, so this is going to be part 2. Part 1 is already released, so if you want to check that out you can. And we're just going to be continuing off in part 2 of the original episode. I really hope you guys enjoy. Let's go! We looted this guy, we got our... we also saved the game. We also got our, okay, it's just looking at all our save games. So, we basically obtained a map. So, if we actually click on the world map, we can actually see how big the map is. Now, like I said, this area in the center is known as Mertana. This is kind of like the normal foresty area. So... this foresty area is really where the humans live. The people who are royal to the king, who's in Vanguard. Remember there's the capital city. There's the capital city of Vanguard, which is right here, and we are currently Ardea, so a little bit to the south of Vanguard. And the map is quite big. There's the upper Nordmar region, which is the Arctic, like I said before. Then there's the huge ass desert that comes, and that desert is actually very, very big. And this desert area is where you're gonna find like the Heshishin, and in the north you'll find like the nomads and stuff like that. So that's that. So now we're gonna get into other things about this game. So we saw the world. Now we're gonna see a little bit like the factions that are involved in this game. So if we look at this quest map, first of all we can see all our quests situated on the more or less right side and the upper left, upper right side. So if we click on like a place like Ardea, for example, we have no quest right next. We haven't really talked to anybody. But if we go to the bottom of this area where we have main and all, if we click all quests, the main quest we have is find Zardis. So remember how we talked about how to remember this guy who talked to us before the fight was done, when he said, "What have you done? The orcs will let us live." And he's talking about how Zardis will send more. So it seems to be this Zardis guy seems to be in alliance with the orcs, but we don't know too much about him yet. He just told us to go to Reddick, which we will actually go for soon. But if we look at the bottom left, which is the more important section of what I'm going to talk about, there are 6 actual like factions that are distinctive. There's the reputation of Nordmar, which is basically your reputation in the north. Your reputation with the orcs, which are the guys we just killed, so we are obviously not in the best of starters with them. However, you actually can turn that reputation around if you want to, if you choose to serve them. Me personally, I have never been a fan of orcs, so I will never be their ally, so fuck them. Next, we have rebels. The rebels are the guys I usually serve when I play this game, mainly because, I don't know, I guess I'm just trying to be loyal to my own people. It's almost like an obligation. And they are basically the guys that I will be serving in this playthrough, and I will be playing a distinctive style, which I will be talking about in a little bit. So we have that. Then there's the Rangers. The Rangers are people you will meet later on. They're obviously the most skilled archers and hunters in the land. You actually can't join them, but you can be goodly acquainted with them, which gives you access to certain types of magic, and obviously you can become a very skilled archer if you're good friends with them. The Heshishin are the guys who reside in the south, like I told you, in Varant, the desert place, and they are more or less the masters of like stealthy, skilled swords play. They are like assassins because they have very good sword fighting play. They have like poisons. They have you can actually dual wield swords if you are well acquainted with them, because they'll teach you how to dual wield swords. So becoming friends with them, you actually can be allied with them, and there actually is a way to fight with them. The 3 main plays you can ally yourself with are the Heshishin, rebels, and orcs. Everybody else plays a part, and you can be friends with them, and they all have their own benefits to being friends with them, but they are not. You cannot actually end the game by fighting for any of one of these guys. Then there's the nomads. The nomads are basically the people who oppose the Heshishin in the south. They're kind of obviously nomadic tribes that exist, and they're kind of the enemy to the Heshishin. So if you're gonna serve and be friends with the Heshishin, you're not gonna be really friendly with the nomads. The rebels obviously serve Enos, which is the god I talked about earlier in that shrine. And obviously he is one of the three gods that reside in this. The orcs and the Hashishin, they worship the god called Beliar, and he is more or less the darker god. The two main gods actually Enos and Beliar are actually brothers, and Beliar is the darker of the two. And then you have the third one, which is Adanos. Adanos is referred to as neutral, and he is worshipped by the nomads. So that more or less, actually no, Adanos is worshipped by the rangers and the nomads. Sorry, and Nordmar, people of Nordmar worship Enos because that they are kind of more or less revered as the first people, and Enos was the first god to help people according to the ancient lore. So as you can imagine with reputation, if you have a good reputation with a certain bunch, like let's say you have a good reputation with the rebels, it is obvious that you will not be too friendly with the orcs. The Hashishin are far enough away that your direct influence, because it's not really a religious thing, it's more or less that the orcs really do not like the rebels for obvious reasons. And if you are really good friends with the rebels, the orcs will not like you. And if you're really, really good friends, the orcs will actually kill you on sight. So the best thing to do is not to rush your way really, really fast, because orcs are very plentiful in this land, and you don't want them as your supreme enemy just yet. You don't want them to be too aggressive towards you. You want to take things slow, and then once you get your foot in the door, then you can start really choosing your path with whoever you want. The Hashishin, by the time you get to Variant, you really should have completed the mainland. You don't really want to go to the desert too early, because stronger enemies reside there, and of course you have the general setting's not the nicest, because you will need to learn how to survive in the desert before you can really make an effective stand there. And I'll tell you how to survive in the desert in a second. It's actually a skill, and it basically will stop killing your stamina, because obviously running in heat can kill you. So with that, let's actually go to the skills section. So the skills section is as follows. You have more or less, how many we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 7. So we have fighting skills, hunting skills, magic skills, smith skills, thief skills, alchemy skills, and what are referred to as other skills. And I'll go over each one of them. If you're obviously going to play this game like a warrior, there's multiple ways you can go about this. The first 3 boxes are referred to as sword fighting. So if you're going to hold a one-handed sword, these are the skills you need to look into. Followed by the next 2 boxes, which are the double-bladed fighting. So if you're going to dual-wield swords, these are the 2 skills you want to look into. This box at the end, the 6th box, is actually a skill called Orc Slayer that is actually given to you by your current sword. So if you look at my current sword, it's called Orc Slayer. You'll notice that in the requirements and the stats that it gives, you'll notice that it gives that you need 100 strength to wield it. You need a normal sword fighter skill, but that is given to everybody, so that's irrelevant. You need the blade does 50 damage, blade damage, and it gives you a bonus skill called Orc Slayer, and of course it's gold value. So if we look back to the skills, Orc Slayer, which is the skill that my sword grants, is right here, so it's a free skill you get. Certain items and equipment will give you free skills throughout the game, which is helpful because that means you don't need to spend the extra points into learning them. Moving on, we have large weapons. If you're going to dual wield and hold like a huge battle axe or a huge sword or any other huge object, these are the 3 skills you want to look into, because they will increase your proficiency with each level. Obviously, large weapons 3, which is the highest level you can attain, being the strongest. If you want to wield a crossbow, these are the 3 skills that you will look into for that. Obviously, same with all other weapons. The higher the level, the better the proficiency. If you want to go sword and board or sword and shield, these are the 2 skills you want to look into to increase your shield proficiency. This will not increase your overall proficiency with your swords. That's what these 3 skills are for. This will increase your ability to block with a shield. You have to watch what you say. These last 2 skills are not for any type of combat. These actually are bonus skills that are actually very, very helpful. This one's called Paladin. The hero does additional damage to creatures of Beliar. So creatures of Beliar include orcs, Hashishn, anybody really who's considered an evil creature. Those are creatures of Beliar, and you'll do bonus damage. So if you think about it, that plus Orc Slayer will do massive damage to orcs. So that is actually very good to have if you're going to play for the rebels, or you're planning to serve Enos throughout the game. If you're going to be a hardcore warrior, this one is a skill you're definitely going to have to consider. This basically is called regeneration, and as the name suggests, your wounds will heal more or less slowly over time. This is very helpful. This obviously saves you in health potions. So again, very helpful, very important. So let's move on to the next one. We have hunting skills. Same as before, 3 skills for your bow and arrow. The better you get, the better you are with a bow. The next 2 are the game hunters ones, which of course, again, higher level equals better. You have hunting, which basically increases your damage against creatures. Like for the first skill, you get bonus damage versus deer, boars, and animals, and then the big game hunters, where you get bonus damage versus predators, so like wolves and stuff like that. Then of course there's Orc Hunter, which is basically the hunter equivalent, so basically the bow and arrow equivalent of Orc Slayer. So Orc Slayers with a sword, Orc Hunters with a bow. Silent Hunter is nice if you're going to be a really big hunter in the game. You can basically sneak up on wild animals for easier hunting kills. Then of course there's the 3 gathering skills, which I call them, because it basically means you can skin animals, skin reptiles, and of course remove claws, teeth, and horns from animals. Very good to have, because you can actually make a good amount of money by skinning and basically ravaging when you can find when you kill something. If you want to be a mage, this is the tree you'll be focusing on. Mages use staves and magical staves, which is right over here. So these 4 skills are going to be really for your combat. Improved robes basically increases the armor value and overall protection of the robes you wear. Very, very helpful, because mages are obviously very squishy and they do not have the best defensive stats. Learn quickly basically means that upon gaining a level, the hero receives an additional learning point. So basically, whenever you level up, as you can see over here, in the experience tab at the very top left, I have my level, my experience value, how much experience I need for the next level, and my learning points. Every time you level up, you get 10 learning points. So in the beginning of the game, I level up 2 times because I have 20 learning points. What this will do is that every time I level up, this will gain you an additional learning point. Personally, I never put any points into this, mainly because I find that considering that you get 10 points for 1 level, I find that, in all honesty, that extra 1 point per level is not really worth it. If you level up to like level 60, yeah, you'll probably get like a decent amount of points out of it, but you could get it, in all honesty, if you really want to, but you have to get it early. The earlier you get it, the better, the more worth it is, and it requires a decent amount of ancient knowledge. Like 100 ancient knowledge is a decent amount to get, considering that you start off with 0. So yeah, it's going to be a little bit tough to get this a little bit early. That's why I'm saying it's not worth to put points into. The bottom 5 skills, which you'll see are different robes, are basically proficiencies in different types of magic. If we go to all the way to the left, we have Druid. Druids are basically the masters of nature. So for this skill, the duration of all transformations is doubled. So whenever you get a spell that you transform to an animal, the duration that you're transformed to is doubled. Moving on, we have the Fire Mage. So all spells of dominance. Spells of dominance are spells for Enos, and I'll show you what those spells are in a minute. Those spells are for Enos, and you get better proficiency. They deal double damage, almost double damage, as the skill says, and they last longer. Moving on, we have Water Mages. Spells of transformation, which I'll show you later. Just like the Fire Mage, deal almost double damage and last longer. Dark Mage is exactly the same as the other 2, only for summoning magic, which are the Beliar skills. Then you have Mana Regeneration, which is exactly like health regeneration. Your mana will regenerate slowly over time. Your Smith skills, which are next, are basically skills that increase your smithing capabilities. These 3 increase how good of smith you are, so how good quality items you can make. Prospector, you mine twice as good. Hone Blade is obviously you can sharpen your blade to give it more damage, And improved armor, which receives a bonus to all armor. So if you're a mage, you can get this along with improved robes and get a decent amount of increased armor rating. Your thief skills are as follows. You have the three main. Remember how I told you before how if your skill to pick a lock is not good enough, it won't let you pick it? Well, these are the three skills that you'll look into if you want to be a better lock picker. You start off obviously with simple locks, but then you can move into difficult locks, and then the last one, which is impossible locks. Obviously, the items hid behind higher level locks will be better, so it is worth investing points into all three of these. If you want to be a pickpocketer and you want to try to steal some good stuff off some guys, pickpocketing is the way to go. Obviously, the higher the pickpocket value, the more chance you are of being successful. If you are caught, the guy will try to fight you. So make sure if you're gonna pickpocket somebody, you pickpocket with a higher pickpocketing level. Bargain is a very good skill to have. You get better prices when trading, so that's obviously very helpful, especially when buying more expensive items. Make excuses that, let's say you kill somebody and you walk into a city and they accuse you of killing somebody. If you have this make excuse, you're much more likely to get out of that crime by talking out of it than the people not believing you and they call you to trial or they try to kill you. Next is knockdown. This is a good skill to have if you're trying to really get the jump on somebody quickly. You can just walk up behind somebody and just knock them down if you have like a blunt object like a club. This is the improved version in my opinion, because if you sneak up behind somebody and you stab them, you can kill them instantly. This is nice, especially when you're trying to take down higher priority targets, because you can avoid a fight all in general and it's much more stealthy. Then of course, your last one, which is Master Thief. You can actually rob a sleeping victim of all that they have, which, again, if you're trying to get those items, this is a very good skill to have, but it requires a relatively higher thieving value. Your alchemy skills, each one of these potions, they allow you to craft a certain type of potion, so crafting healing potions, mana potions, permanent potions, which are potions that give permanent effects, like permanent strength increases, permanent health increases, etc. The next one is to make poison. If you make poison, you can poison your weapons to give them more damage, and of course, the poison blades will if you stab them, will actually give them a DOT that eats away at their health slowly. The next one is transformation potions. This basically means that you can craft a potion that transforms you into an animal. This one, the poison blade, means that you can use the poison, which if you craft it with this skill, you can actually use it to poison your blades. So this is basically the knowledge of how to poison your blades. This is the same one, only to poison your arrows. This is how to craft fire arrows, and this is how to craft exploding arrows. In our last category, we have other skills. This is you almost want to max this out, except for acrobatics, mainly because you can live without this. First of all, these are the resistances to every element. If you get resistance to cold, that basically means that cold damage will not hurt you. So let's say if a mage uses cold damage on you, it won't hurt you as much. Also, if you're a Nordmar, you will not get the stamina debuff that occurs, so you won't have your stamina regeneration cut in a very, very small fraction. So you will be able to perform at normal levels in the cold. If you go to the resistance to heat, this is the same thing as the cold. Only the difference is that in Variant, this works this is more applicable to Variant, which is the desert in the south. If you want to be able to go through the desert and you don't want to feel the heat really, and you want your stamina to be functioning at optimal level, this is what you want to have. Resistance to disease basically means you'll never have to use a disease potion again, because you won't be getting caught catching disease whenever a lizard attacks you or something like that. And then of course resistance to poison, so if a blood fly hits you, you will not get poisoned. Very, very helpful. Like I said, all four of these are, in my opinion, what you should have. The last two, I love this one, Endurance of the Wolf. This allows you to sprint for twice as long, and I of course like getting places fast, so this is definitely for me. Acrobatics basically receives less fall damage. I'm not jumping off of high places, so in general, I let this one slide. Not really worth it for me. So that's all the actual skills. If we take a quick look into our attributes, we have a number of them. Strength influences what like the weapons you can wield. Hunting skill obviously increases your ability to like wield certain bows, so obviously stronger bows require a higher hunting skill. Ancient knowledge is used for if you want to wield certain types of magic items, like if you want to cast certain spells or learn certain spells, you are going to have to learn your ancient knowledge so you can use them. Smithing, same thing, except for items. For smithing items, if you want to craft better equipment, you need a higher smithing value. If you want to learn more thieving skills and you want to be a better thief, higher thieving value. Alchemy is the same way. Life. These are your 3 bars in a number form, so you can see precisely of what you have. Your armor protection. This is very important because this basically shows you what are your strengths and your weaknesses. Mostly, if you have armor for a warrior, the first 3 sections, so blades, impact, and missiles, those will be covered, but your magic resistances like fire, ice, and energy will not. Vice versa, if you have a robe, usually the robe will protect you against these elements, but not the actual missiles, impact, or blades damage. So you'll see that later in the game once you get armor, and you'll see when I get armor, these values will start going up, and obviously it's pretty straightforward. The higher the number is in each category, the more resistant you are to that type of damage. Moving on, we'll move on to our spells. So remember how I told you how there's different types of spells. There's spells of dominance, summoning, and transformation. Dominance is more directed to Enos. You have your spells like you can cast light, you can cure disease. I'm not going to go over every single one because I don't want to make this too long, because I want to get back to the game because I'm pretty sure you want to see this. But if you really are interested, you can do some research of yourself, or if you play the game, you can just go into your spell book and there it is, everything's here. But to give you a quick rundown of the coolest spells, you can call like a firestorm, you can bless a weapon which gives it more damage, you can call down a meteor, and you can actually control somebody with the word of dominance. Transformation magic is actually one of the best types of magic in my opinion, because you can summon very powerful creatures like a golem, or you can even summon you can summon you can go with animal form, but I think summon golem is probably the best in this tree. You can also open locks in any chest you want, but personally, if you get the thieving skill, you'll never need this. Summon golem I think is still the best in this certain tree. Summoning magic is one of the most powerful as well. I think all these in general are more or less powerful, but I think the weakest of the 3 might be actually the it's actually a tough decision. Summoning magic, like there's only 3, so there's obviously not a certain weakest type, but maybe transformation magic actually, my mistake, might actually be the weakest of the 3, because dominance magic, you can actually heal yourself and heal other people. You can control others, make your weapon stronger, summon a firing sword. That's pretty. Summon a sword on fire does a lot of damage. That's pretty good. Summoning magic is probably one of, I would say, it might even be the most powerful if you're talking pound for pound. You can summon an army of undead. You can summon a demon. The demon might be the most powerful summoning guy you can call upon. You can make a guy go into a bloodlust, which will make him attack anybody. You can leave your own body to explore unexplored areas, and so much more. So again, that's a quick rundown of spells. I already showed you the map and I showed you the quest system. Other things you want to look at is as you go through the game, you'll get certain documents like alchemy formulas, recipes, and all that stuff that will all appear here beside your world map, but this is really what we want for now. So let's do a quick let's just quickly talk to this guy. Oh, before, remember to loot everything. So remember how I told you, let's take these healing potions. These are very important. This teleport stone right here will allow you to transport to this city anytime you want, which is very, very important. There's teleport stones hidden in every city, so we're gonna have to find them all if we want to transport to the cities we want at will. I actually don't think I looted this place yet. Oh, these bookshelves, if you read these, you can actually gain ancient knowledge or alchemy skills. You can learn stuff. Very important. So let's just loot everything up here. Here's another one. See if you can learn anything from this.
Interesting.
Okay, that's interesting as well. Here's an example of a bed. If you sleep in this, you can actually regain all your stats. So we'll actually do that because my health is a little bit low. I don't want to use a potion on it. So let's just go until noon. Currently, we are actually in our second day at noon. And let's go talk to the main guy.
What's in Reddick?
The rebel camp. It's in the middle of the forest, where the wolves are.
I can handle wolves.
Yes, but those beasts are awfully aggressive, and you won't be able to find it by yourself. I think your buddy Gorn knows where it is. You should go talk to him.
Okay, so what he's told me is that Gorn knows where the rebel camp is, so I will talk to him after I finish talking to this guy.
What should I tell the rebels?
Tell their leaders to send us fighters. We don't stand a chance by ourselves. Now we're all so in it up to our necks.
Okay, so yeah, now we have another quest. Hamler wants us to talk to the leader of the rebels to give them reinforcements. That's very easy to do. And now we gotta ask Zardus.
What has Zardus got to do with the orcs?
What's wrong with you? Haven't you been here these last few weeks? Zardus is the leader of the orcs. He betrayed us.
What else do you know about Zardus?
He destroyed the rune magic, that filthy swine. Deprived of their magic, paladins and fire mages never stood a chance against the hordes of orcs.
Okay, so that's all he really has to tell me, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that's... before I actually go talk to Gordon, let me just go... If we go to this station right here, I actually didn't explore this. There's actually shields, which I didn't go... I don't know why I didn't go to this. This is a blacksmithing area. This has lots of good stuff, like halberds. These are two-handed weapons if you're interested in wielding a big weapon. Casket. There's some gold, I'm sure, in here. No, all these chests. Look at all these weapons. How did I not go into this place before? Here's a recipe for a broadsword. So if you want to make a broadsword, there's the recipe for it. You'll need obviously certain amount of skill you'll need certain amount of smith skill, and of course you'll need the correct ingredients along with the recipe. There's some chests that we're gonna look into, and then we are going to talk to Gorn.
Just like old times, huh? The orcs weren't all that strong. There must be other tougher ones. What about Lester? Wasn't he going to get some reinforcements?
So Lester was supposed to get reinforced. Let's see what the other guys have to say.
Another fine mess we've got ourselves into.
What happened here?
Quite obviously, the orcs have won their war against King Robar. And now the orcs are sweeping through the land, enslaving the humans. But most of all, I would like to know what happened to Lester.
Okay, so he wants to know what happened to Lester too. I'm pretty sure Milton, who is the third guy, he'll probably want to know what happened to Lester as well.
I don't like orcs. What's going on with Lester? He was going to get reinforcements. My runes have lost their power. I don't think it's any different for the other fire mages. I'm going to set out and try to learn the ancient true magic.
What are you talking about?
Before there were runes, only a very few, very powerful people could do magic. That knowledge must be found somewhere. I will seek it.
Good luck to you.
Good luck.
Thanks. We'll meet again.
Okay, so this is not an actual quest, but we should probably go talk to where Lester is. If I remember correctly, when we docked in the beach area, that is where Lester was. I saw him last, at least. And there seems to be a settlement down here, so we'll see if there's anything. Oh, there he is. I knew it. My memory does not fail. Always.
Bad news. There will be no reinforcements.
So I noticed. What happened?
Go look for
Oh,
the
now
ship.
you tell us
You're
that,
not
man.
gonna
We could have
find
used
it.
that information a while ago.
Pirates. It was all over in a moment.
Oh, shit. We lost our equipment?
And what about our equipment?
What do you think? We'll have to get some new stuff.
Damn.
Talk to Diego. He knows a lot about acquiring things.
Lovely. So, not only did our ship get stolen with all our stuff on it, we will have no reinforcements. Lovely. So now we're gonna have to go talk to everybody else. Oh, by the way, these are the type of plants you can loot. This is a rainweed. There's plenty of ingredients that you can loot. Oh, there's actually an enemy right there. So these are more or less the wildlife that you can fight. Against wildlife, I would recommend use your more quick attack with this little bit short, with a little bit longer range. So I can't even speak today. It has a little bit longer range and it's quicker, so it gives you a safer option versus fast and agile fighters, such as these animals. Okay, so now that we looted some. Now we talked to Lester. We now have the bad news, so let's tell it to Goran.
Plans again. Maybe you should talk to him.
What's
Oh,
up?
whoops.
Pirates.
Those rotten bastards made off with our treasure.
Looks like it.
We'll have to deal with that later, I'm afraid. You see, we have a problem.
What problem?
Go talk to the village elder.
What can I tell you?
I already talked to him actually.
I had a talk with the village elder. So, what do you suggest?
First, we need to get an overview of the mess the orcs have been making. And one of us must find out where Zardos is hiding. The necromancer has absorbed the power of Beliar within himself. And he is master of the orcs.
So let's find out. We need some new
Where
equipment,
will we get
man.
new equipment now?
But you know how this works. Collect whatever you can find. And don't let anyone take it from you. And since the orcs are now the rulers of Martana, we will get some fine equipment from them.
Okay, so that's relatively straightforward. Just be an ass, take whatever you can find, and don't give it to anybody. Words I can live by.
You know me. I'll be wherever there's something to be had. Martana is now orc territory. But kissing up to orcs just isn't my thing. I will go south. I bet there are some opportunities left in the vastness of the desert. You can set out with Gord.
Okay, so he's gonna go to Varant. He said he's gonna go to Nordmar to look for the ancient ruins of his people, so let's go to Goran.
What are you going to do now?
I will go search for the rebels. I bet they're not all dead yet.
Show me where the rebels are hiding.
It's not far from here. Follow me.
Okay, so Goran's gonna take us to the rebel camp. And I'm actually gonna stop the video here, guys, because this is actually we're actually leaving the city. So since we cleared the city and we did really everything we need to do here, apologies for cutting this video into 2 parts. I actually experienced an interruption. So other than that, thank you guys for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. This is the beginning of Gothic 3. Obviously things will get better down the road as we get more into the game. If you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Feel free to check other videos that we've posted. A lot of them, especially League of Legends, they're very, very funny at times. So I wish you guys all the best. Have a good day, guys. Bye. Thank you guys for watching and have a great day. More videos will come out in the future, and I hope you guys enjoy. See ya.